Well, everybody, the day has arrived. It's finally time for me to react to Made Undertale, but it's 3D. This. I've been, waiting to record this reaction for a while now. Yeah. In fact, this I found this video. This video is what led me to discover Cody Can't Eat this YouTube channel, which led to me discovering all the other videos he's made. So yeah, this is what all the previous reactions to his video has been leading up to. I gotta say, I do like Undertale. I haven't actually played the game, just like I haven't actually played. Just like I haven't really. So yeah. Grief. I'm so tired of constantly getting ads about the people dying in Gaza. Okay, I mean seriously, stop asking me for money. Yeah, I mean sure I get it. People need money, but it's annoying constantly getting the ads. Okay, right. I'm gonna be honest. What's really annoying is that I don't know whether or not it's a legitimate charity or a scam. That's the tricky thing with charities, that sometimes they are scams. And all that. So perhaps we could, quickly find out just by doing a little bit of research, but I'm too lazy to do that. Anyway, enough about, dying kids in Gaza. Let's focus on what really matters. An indie video game. From the 2010s. Right. Okay, so as I was saying, I haven't actually played the game Undertale, but I've seen a bunch of Let's Plays of it over the years. In fact, the first Let's Plays the Let's Plays that Jacksepticeye did, and since then I've seen plenty of Let's Plays. In fact, honestly, recently this year, I decided to check out some Let's Plays of Undertale again, and something. So naturally, that led to the algorithm recommending me stuff related to Undertale and all that. So yeah, that's how I found this video 7 months ago. Yeah. Anyway, when I was watching, Let's Plays this year, I thought about trying to find blind Let's Plays, people who don't know anything about Undertale, doing that because, I want to see somebody play neutral run or not. Like in the past, I've just seen, just either pacifists playthroughs or genocide playthroughs. Unfortunately, it seems that at least with the YouTubers who are doing the blind Let's Plays and all that, apparently after doing the neutral, I mean honestly, they just go on to do the genocide route instead of the pacifist route, first and all that, which, like, if you know anything, if you know about Undertale, you know why doing a genocide before a pacifist is not a good idea. But then again, I guess it's like, I've only seen like 2 or like different neutral Let's Plays this year, so honestly, it's not that big of a pattern and all that. Wait. Oh, actually, I guess I've definitely seen 3, right? Yeah. Actually, I guess it's only been 3, but I think I forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, but anyway, because of that, I kind of I've kind of been putting off recording this for a while now, but because I wanted to, and I just see watch a whole let's play a full let's play before just doing this and all that. Yeah. Like I started watching like a let's play of Undertale, then then I kind of stopped, and algorithm recommending me videos about related to Undertale. Saw this, recorded. If I discovered his channel, made some, recordings of me reacting to some of his other videos, and then deciding to just to watch like like it to finish the let's play that I started watching and all that. Then afterwards, I just thought, okay, before I do this, how about try to see like the see a pacifist let's play and all that. So yeah. But then I just kind of got distracted doing other things. But yeah, so I mean, anyway, earlier today, I did, just decided to just see as this let's play, previous to what, and so I mean years ago. So, so yeah, and I just remember, and I just how special this game is. Although then again, all of that was just pretty useless because like he's probably just only gonna do like the first like couple locations and all that. And it's funny, I came across this video not because it was recommended, but because I was going through the shorts on his channel here. Wait. At least I think they were shorts. I know. I mean, shorts. That's odd. Oh, I thought there was shorts on his. Perhaps I misremembered something. Oh wait, no, it wasn't a short. Yeah. I guess it was in my recommended feed. Never mind. Sorry. And it's because it seemed.
So
like
around 10 months ago, I started working on remaking Undertale in 3D, and
it just kind of seemed like a sure. This thing seems odd here. Yeah, anyway, before I start reaction, and just one more announcement. This will be the last random reaction I'm going to be doing for a while. Don't worry. If you enjoy my random reactions, which I doubt, but like, I don't know if you're like the one weirdo who enjoys my random reactions. I think I'm gonna just take a break from this so that way I can just focus on other things and all the other important things and whatnot. Yeah. Just for but random reactions will we on next Mikomas. Next Mikomas. Mikomas is Mikomas. Oh, I think how do we pronounce it? Yeah. Now I remember Mikomas. Yeah. Next Mikomas. Yeah. When next Mikomas arrives, random reactions will return. Now you might be wondering, Mikomas? What's Mikomas? And what the heck is that? Well, then I guess you just need to educate yourself then. That's right, I ain't telling you. I mean, you never heard of Mikomas? I mean, come on. I mean, what are you? Illiterate? I mean, come on. Everybody knows what Mikomas is. Though I did forget how to pronounce it correctly for a little bit. What was it strange, okay? I mean, it doesn't even exactly, look the way it doesn't sound the way it looks, okay? I mean, if you were to, pronounce it correctly, we would say Michaelmas instead of Michaelmas. Michaelmas. Why is it pronounced that way? But then again, I guess Christmas is pronounced Christmas instead of Christmas, so, no, whatever. Anyway, on with Undertale now.
So around 10 months ago, I started working on remaking Undertale in 3D, and I severely underestimated the overwhelming amount of work that needed to go into it. This project by far has the most 3D models I've had to create for any video on my channel.
Yeah, but I mean, considering how many, unique types of monsters you encounter and all that.
And each of these models also has way more detail. Just for a quick comparison, this is an example of a highly detailed model for my Zelda remake, and now this is a highly detailed model for Undertale. Even the less detailed models have much more remake, and now this is a highly detailed model for Undertale. Even the less detailed models have much more complexity.
Yeah, Undertale definitely is just a very gorgeous name with a lot of very detailed pixel art. I believe it's I think it's 16-bit actually. I think the game's 16-bit instead of the previous games with like 8-bit. Other than again, I could be wrong. Perhaps Undertale is 8-bit. But I don't know. It seems like 16-bit considering the amount of detail. No, actually, now I think, but yeah, it's definitely 16-bit. Yeah. You will not be able to make Undertale look as good as it does with 8 bits. Yeah, it's definitely 16-bit. It's a 16-bit game, so yeah, it makes sense that it would be like way more complicated and all that. Like, it's double the amount of bits. That's double the amount of detail.
Needless to say, I needed to fill myself with determination to get myself to finish this game, and by that I mean GamerSubs, who I recently just partnered with. If you haven't heard of it,
well, don't skip through this.
Earn 125.
Come on. I don't care. I don't care about Chase. Isn't Chase responsible for the recession? Well, not the current recession, but the past recession, the 2008 recession. Isn't Chase responsible for the 2008 recession or something? Screw Chase. Yeah. I think I can work on my, health later.
I only ended up working on it for a few days before giving up. On it all the way back at the beginning of the project run. My code can't drink this to get 10% off any order. If you guys end up really liking it, we might even get a cup design or flavor of our own at some point. And now back to the video. Now I know I said I just started this project around 10 months ago, but that's not entirely true. I actually started working on it all the way back at the beginning of 2022, but I only ended up working on it for a few days before giving up. And the reason for that is because modeling Frisk is hard. If you look at the sprite for Frisk... Yeah, that is true, yeah. Yeah, I can see why that would be difficult. You can see that it isn't symmetrical. The left ear is exposed while the right ear is hidden beneath hair. The head is off center, and the left leg is bigger than the right leg. When trying to account for all of these, it made the modeling process pretty difficult. Normally what I would do is take the sprite for both the front view and the side view, stretch them out, and then cut off any extra voxels. But the
Yeah, I remember him doing that with the previous ones. Yeah, that's not gonna happen with Frisk here.
problem was trying to figure out how to model the head from there, especially for the part around the left ear. It took me several attempts trying different approaches until I finally landed on something that looked pretty good.
Yeah, I see that looks pretty decent.
And from there I was able to make a walk style pretty easily by just changing the arms and legs. After importing Frisk into Unity, I then set it up so that they were able to walk around. With Frisk able
They look quite chunky. very chunky, rotund child. Chunky child.
to walk around now, I need to get started on creating the level for Frisk to explore. I found a map for the ruins, and it seems way longer than I remember.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, yeah, that is true. I guess it is a bit longer, huh? Yeah, so something tells me he's not gonna try to do the Snowden area, because that's like 4 times longer than this.
For this project, I tried out this 3D tile map feature that I found to try and make the level building process easier. I made textures for all the different walls and floors, and then made some materials. Then I used ProBuilder to make some models for the floor tiles and the walls. I made sure to make them into flat planes so that the backside wouldn't be visible. Then for the corner walls, I made sure to have a slightly angled wall connecting the two sides instead of just coming to a right angle. Originally, I had these small outer rim parts on the top of the walls, but I ended up just deleting them because it would look weird when looking through the wall, and it obstructed the view. And with these floor tiles and wall tiles all set up, I could now go around placing them with the tile map brush tool.
So I wasn't paying attention. Well, not completely. No, I want you to hear all of
Way
this.
longer than I remember. For this project, I tried out this 3D tile map feature that I found to try and make the level building process easier. I made textures for all the different walls and floors, and then made some materials. Then I used ProBuilder to make some models for the floor tiles and the walls. I made sure to make them into flat planes so that the backside wouldn't be visible. Then for the corner walls, I made sure to have a slightly angled wall connecting the two sides instead of just coming to a right angle. Originally, I had these small outer rim parts
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, looking at the design here.
on the top of the wall, and with these floor tiles, this was just a bit taller in some areas. I could now go around placing them with the tile map brush tool. A lot of this was just tedious work placing them where they needed to go, and for some parts I needed to make new wall tiles because the walls there were a bit taller in some areas. The next thing I wanted to do was change the skybox to be completely black so it was like standing in the void. For this, I changed the skybox from default skybox to default diffuse. Unity gave me a warning saying that this shader doesn't support skybox rendering, but I'm going to pretend I didn't see that because it looks like it's working to me. With this new black background, I added a new sprite with a gradient that fades to black to make the top and bottom of the ruins entrance look a bit more natural. And the last thing to do before moving on to create more voxel models is to do the walls inside of Toriel's house. The floor here doesn't follow the same pattern as the rest of the ruins. The ruins floor has room for an exact number of floor tiles, unlike in Toriel's house. So what I did was make some walls using ProBuilder, and then I'd go back and do the floors later using Magic Voxel. But before creating the models...
Oh man, the size of the firewall of this must be absolutely humongous, absolutely massive, and all that is a massive file size.
For props on the map, I wanted to create some more NPC characters. The ruin...
Oh, he's probably gonna have to buy like extra RAM or something. I don't know. I don't envy the amount of stories he's going to lose during all this.
This has 4 NPC characters: Flowey, Toriel, Frogget, and NPC characters. Magic Voxel. But before creating the models for props on the map, I wanted to create some more NPC characters. The ruins has 4 NPC characters: Flowey, Toriel, Frogget, and Napstablook. I started with Flowey since it's the first character you meet in the game. The basic Flowey model was pretty easy. It's just a normal flower with a face on it, with a second model where the mouth is open so he can talk. The hard part comes from the animations. Flowey has 2 animations, one where he's laughing, and another where he sinks into the ground. The one where he sinks into the ground was fairly easy. All I had to do was straighten out the stem, change the petals a bit to make it look like he's moving, and then lower him into the ground. The laughing model was the challenging part. I had to
I imagine it is.
make a few models, gradually growing the sides of his face and distorting it along the way. Then the laughing part just loops between 2 frames, where one has the mouth open more than the other. When putting the animations together, I think it came together pretty well.
Wow, that is smooth. Let's see that again.
More than the other. When putting the animations together, I think it came together pretty well.
Oh, no, that's real good there. Oh, wow, I absolutely love that.
Next up, I had Toriel. I used the same modeling trick to make her that I used for Frisk, and I similarly had some bad attempts with her. The first one made her look a bit bloated in the face, so I tried again, and this time cut out some holes in between her face and the ears, and slimmed down her face.
There you go, that looks good. That looks much better. Good job. Good job, Cody.
And I think it looks a bit better. Toriel has a few animations of her own, most of them involving Frisk.
Oh,
in
cute.
this video,
Don't care. Alright, skip.
Making a basic walk cycle, I edited it so that she could hold on to Frisk's hand for the part where she guides Frisk through the spike maze. There's also the animation where she pats Frisk on the head when showing them to their room. There's one frame where she's holding the phone to call Frisk near the entrance to her house. Toriel also sits on Cheriel while reading a book, and then stands up while closing the book. And the final animation for Toriel is when she's hugging Frisk at the end of the ruins. This one was a bit weird since I had to
Don't open my heart. See, if it's so warm inside. It's so cute and wholesome. I love it. I love
press
it.
Toriel's arms to be longer than they normally would be, to fully wrap her arms around
So
Frisk.
heartwarming.
The only other option I would have would be placing Frisk slightly inside of Toriel, which would probably also look weird. For the third NPC, we have the Frogget. Frog can be seen in a few places on the overworld ruins map outside of battle, and each of these follows the same idle animation pattern. The head will bob up and down, while the eyes on its stomach will move left and right.
Yeah, I guess compared to Toya and Frisk, definitely a lot simpler.
You can never see Frogget from the side, so I had to guess at what it would look like. I think it kind of turned out more like a dog rather than a frog, though. And now for the
I think it looks pretty good. I say it looks pretty good.
last NPC, we have Napstablook. Napstablook's design is pretty straightforward. It basically looks like a person wearing a white sheet pretending to be a ghost. So there's not all...
Yes. That's definitely the easiest.
It's pretty straightforward. He basically looks like a person wearing a white sheet pretending to be a ghost. So there's not a whole lot of detail there. But regardless, after finishing the models for all the characters, it was time to start the modeling process for everything else in the ruins, which is where I think most of my time was spent. Each room had various props and other stuff that needed to be turned into voxel models. Some of them were pretty basic, like these leaves or these signs, but others got fairly complicated, like this pillar. The pillar alone took several hours of work. First, I had to see what it looked like from the front, and then from the side, and then combine those together, before finally adding some detail and smoothing it out for the finished product. These doorways also had a similar amount of detail put into them. Luckily, a lot of things were less complicated, like the buttons, the spikes, these levers, the vines, the leaves, and these signposts. While other things like the spider webs, the rocks, the candy bowl, the dummy, and the save point took a bit more work. For some things like the save point, the ribbon, and the knife, I made sure to make it so that they are always facing towards the camera. My models for these looked a bit weird when viewed from other angles, especially the save point, so facing it towards the camera allowed them to stay 3D while also looking normal. Before moving inside of Toriel's house, there were just a few more props to place in the ruins, all of which were extremely detailed. The first being the staircase in the beginning. It took me a while to decide which height worked best for the stairs, and then also having to fill in all the gaps where the black color is. If I lighten it, you can see all the detail that went there. The next thing was the tree in front of Toriel's house.
That tree looks so cool. Oh, it looks incredible.
This one probably took half a day, if not longer, to finish. I had to go through a few different approaches to get it to look as best as I could while staying true to the original, and I think what I came up with looks pretty good. And finally, there was this entire area overlooking the city of Home. I made these 3 buildings in the very front row into 3D models, and then everything behind it was layers of flat planes set some distance apart. It's set up...
Oh, I love it. It's like a little puppet show. A ride at a theme park, or just attraction, they just, it's so cool, so amazing, I love it.
Similar to how you would create a parallax effect. And now we can finally start with the models inside. Some distance apart. It's set up similar to how you would create a parallax effect. And now we can finally start with the models inside of Toriel's house. The first thing I did was create
that's what it's called, a parallax effect.
Floors in magical voxel, and then import them into the scene. I had to break some of them up into different parts because it only allows for models that fit within a 256 block cube. Then I made the models in the red bedroom, blue bedroom, the hallway, the living room, the kitchen, and the foyer. And the last step was to create the staircase that leads down into the basement. And with that, all the models are now finished, and we can move on to some gameplay. The first...
Oh, I love how the file looks.
...case that leads down into the basement. And with that, all the models are now finished.
Good job with the animation there.
And we can move on to some gameplay. The first thing I wanted to do was make it so that only a few rooms would be loaded in at a time, and would spawn and despawn as you move throughout the ruins.
Yeah, that makes sense, because if the whole thing was like loaded all the time, oh man, the amount of lag it would create, I think the whole system would crash.
This is mainly due to performance issues. If I had just left everything on all the time,
just as I guessed,
I would experience quite a bit of lag when standing at one end of the map. I did something slightly different for the beginning and ending rooms though. I moved them further back and placed them inside of a black box room. Then I brought back the portals that I used in the portal game I made. Thanks again to Sebastian Legg for these. And I made it so that these doorways...
did not check that out. I did not check out that video. Yeah, well, I'm not gonna go back to, I'm not gonna look at it.
Brought back the portals that I used in the portal game I made. Thanks again to Sebastian Legg for these. And I made it so that these doorways would seamlessly teleport the player to different parts of the map. It also ends up giving it this cool effect where it looks like the room doesn't exist behind the doorway, and then all of a sudden it's just there. Now that the player can properly traverse the map, I needed to start adding in a way for the player to interact with things. So I made a script called Interact, which is responsible for most of the things the player can interact with. It can store some dialogue along with the option to add in a space sprite to the dialogue box. It also keeps track of what face the sprite should be making as the character talks. After interacting...
okay, I need to back up to get all that. That was a lot of stuff.
The room doesn't exist behind the doorway, and then all of a sudden it's just there. Now that the player can properly traverse the map, I needed to start adding in a way for the player to interact with things. So I made a script called Interact, which is responsible for most of the things the player can interact with. It can store some dialogue along with the option to add in a space sprite to the dialogue box. It also keeps track of what face the sprite should be making as the character talks. After interacting with the object, all of this information is then added to the dialogue system in a queue. So after...
Wow, that's so cool. Oh, so neat. I gotta say, it's kind of neat that he added the detail, the mouth flaps on the 3D model. He did not need to work that hard, but he did.
After it adds the dialogue, it removes them from the queue after they are read. Once all of the dialogue is read, it then closes the dialogue box. If this the object, all of this information is then added to the dialogue system in a queue. So after it adds the dialogue, it removes them from the queue after they are read. Once all of the dialogue is read, it then closes the dialogue box. If this dialogue is supposed to trigger an encounter at the end, it'll then play an animation to shift over to the battle scene. There's also the special animation to trigger an encounter at the end. It'll then play an animation to shift over to the battle.
That's kind of cute. The little the demo still looks 3D even in this 2D version. That's cute.
Scene. There's also the special animation that plays when transitioning to the battle with Toriel, where the level fades away first. This interact script is also responsible for transitioning to random encounters. The random encounter adds nothing to the dialogue system, and since the dialogue is immediately finished, it instead just transitions to battle. Each room has a set of battles which are possible to enter. So for example, some rooms can encounter Frogget, while others can't. This information is tracked by the monster spawner script. When entering a room, it resets your step counter, and then calculates the number of steps needed before having a random encounter. This number gradually increases with the more kills you have, so farming kills for a genocide run usually takes a while. Once you have enough kills, you will now start to enter a battle where nobody came. After this, the Frogget NPCs won't appear anymore, and Napstablook will fade away before you start talking to him. And now with all this talk about battles, I think it's time to start talking.
I didn't feel like, yeah. Since I just decided to make a nice book, fade away since since I don't. Yeah, that's not what happens in the genocide route. Yeah. Instead, in a genocide route, you just attack him, but the attack doesn't work because Nazabluks goes so physical. Attacks don't work on him, and he ends up feeling really sad about it, and leaves. Yeah, I guess Cody just was just feeling a bit too tired to do that, and I feel like could have done it. It's not too hard of a thing to do. Other than again, perhaps you just forgot it that happens or something.
But the last part of the game, which is the enemy encounters. Once you're in a battle, you can pick which action you want to do. You can fight the enemies by timing your attacks to do more damage, or you can pick from one of several acts to do. These acts are peaceful options that you can take in battle, and if you do the right act or meet the right conditions, you can then spare the enemy. After your turn is the enemy turn. The dialogue box will start to shrink and fade away before shifting to a new angled perspective. Originally, I was planning on making the battle play out like a Velocibox, where the attacks would come at you as you move around the box. But the only reason I thought of that was because I was remembering one specific attack from the battle with Sands, and then I realized that 99% of the attacks are nothing like that. So instead I made it shift to this 3D perspective. The player's soul can move in any direction to dodge the attack until the attack ends. Getting hit will reduce your HP and cause the screen to shake. Playing in this perspective makes it hard to tell where everything is though, so I placed some shadows on the floor to help identify where the player is and where the attacks are.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. I like that. Huh. It's strange. I keep on remembering I think I have seen a short about a 3D version of Undertale, but I don't think it was made by this guy, was it? I don't know. I think I might try checking it out later.
Player shadow. I also made it so that the shadow will be more opaque when you are closer to the floor, and more transparent when you're closer to the ceiling. The 3D perspective trivializes some attacks, as it makes them much easier to dodge. However, it also makes some attacks much harder to dodge, so it really depends on which enemy you're facing. I'll try to talk about the attacks without spoiling how to avoid them, so you can figure that out by yourself while playing. The first attack is Frogget, and has 3 attacks. The first attack is the Fly attack. Frogget will spawn 5 flies that will fly towards the last position of the player. Every second or so, it will change direction and update the last position of the player. The next attack is similar, but it instead uses a couple of balls that shoot from the ceiling and despawn when hitting the floor. This one never changes directions. And the last attack is the Frog Jump, which only activates when Frogget is alone in battle. Frogget will spawn a couple of frogs that will jump from right to left at a random height and random speed. The next enemy is Whimsin, which has 2 attacks. The first attack spawns butterflies from the floor around the player, and they fly straight up towards the ceiling before despawning. The other attack is the butterfly circle. This attack is pretty straightforward. The butterflies fly in a circle around the player, and the circle will grow larger and smaller over time. Next up is Moldsmal, which also has 2 attacks. The first attack spawns large balls that fall from the ceiling in a zigzag pattern. The other attack is similar, except the balls fall in a straight line, and explode after some time into smaller pellets. After Moldsmal is Migos.
I love this guy. My favorite enemy.
2 special attacks. Migos always appears with other enemies, so when there's other enemies still active in battle, it always activates its first attack. This attack spawns butterflies from the sides of the bullet board, and they randomly choose to either fly up or down. If Migos is alone in battle, it'll start to be happy, and it has an attack where it just dances.
I love it. This why this guy's my favorite. I just love it.
Vegetoid's 2 attacks also have a special condition on them. Both attacks will spawn 1 green version of the attack. This one will heal the player instead of damaging the player. The carrot attack rains down carrots from the sky, and the vegetable attack will spawn in a bunch of vegetables that bounce around in random directions. Luke's is the final enemy before the bosses that has 2 versions of 2 different attacks. The first attack spawns in a couple of balls that will bounce around, slowly growing in speed, and the second attack spawns in a bunch of worm-like creatures that wiggle around the bullet board. Both attacks have a slow and fast version. Which version plays depends on the actions you take during the battle. And now, onto the bosses. Jump.
Skip.
I'll start with Flowey since he really isn't a boss. His encounter is unique since there's no grid, and there's no options for you to do in battle. As he talks, he'll start to spawn some friendliness pellets at you. He also has another attack where he spawns a giant ring of... As he talks, he'll start to spawn some friendliness pellets at you. He also has... I'll start with Flowey since he really... plays depends on the actions you take during the battle. And now, onto the bosses. I'll start with Flowey since he really isn't a boss. His encounter is unique since there's no grid, and there's no options for you to do in battle. As he talks, he'll start to spawn some friendliness pellets at you. He also has another attack where he spawns a giant ring of pellets that slowly close in on you. Next is Napsiplook, who's like a mini-boss. He has 2 attacks, and like Luke's, they'll play at varying speeds depending on the actions taken in battle. For the first attack, he cries out these large tears that fall down into the bullet board. If the player does some specific actions, he'll instead start to cry upwards, showing you his dapper look. For the other attack, he has these long lightning bolt tears that fall down and work their way around the bullet board.
I love Nasty Blue.
His position before firing to fall onto the player. And now for the first real boss of the game, we have Toriel. Toriel has 4 attacks with slightly different versions as well. The first attack spawns in flames from the ceiling that sweep back and forth. There's a slightly different version of this attack as well, with a shorter bullet board that also spawns flames on the left and right, similar to the Miyagos butterfly attack. The next attack spawns flames in a helix shape, and the shape of the helix slightly changes over time as well. This attack was simple for me to add since I just had to change 1 line of code from the sweeping attack to make it work like this instead. The third attack is one where Toriel moves her hand across the bullet board, spawning in flames that act as homing missiles. This attack has a second variation as well, where there's 2 hands instead of 1. And the final attack has flames that fall straight down from the sky and try to avoid the player if they get too close. This attack only activates when Frisk is low on HP, as Toriel tries to take mercy on them. And that's pretty much it for the attacks. The only other thing worth mentioning here was that I also added the ability to use items in battle. And with that, the game is basically finished. All that was left at this point was to add in the pause menu, a new settings menu, which as you can see I also added...
Never mind.
In a first person's perspective, and I added in as many Easter eggs as I could find from the original. There are points in the game where Flowey can be seen stalking the... Add in the pause menu, a new settings menu, which as you can see I also added in a first person's perspective, and I added in as many Easter eggs as I could find from the original. There are points in the game where Flowey can be seen stalking the player. The annoying dog steals the cell phone from Toriel and keeps calling the player. There's a hidden frogget in the wall, and this frogget here only appears if you meet certain conditions. So I'll stop talking here and let you try it all out for yourself. I'll put a link in the description for the download. It'll have a video showing how to download and run the game if you can't figure it out, as well as showing the controls. Alright, see ya.
Yeah, and then, good thing about Undertale is that, unlike and like the 3D version of The Legend of Zelda, the 3D version of Super Mario was owned by Nintendo, and it is an indie game, and and Toby Fox is a pretty chill dude and all that. So yeah, honestly, somebody needs to like share this video with with Toby Fox, and I wonder what he thinks of all this, but he loves it. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's. I guess that's. Yeah. I think that should be all for now. So I guess just have a good day and goodbye. I think I might investigate something. So I don't know. Let's see. Oh, I found it. I found what I was looking for. This one. This one right here.
This on.
Yeah. I think this is what let me do it. Yeah. That's right. I know. Oh, I remember. How I stumbled upon this. It's because it was a shot. Yeah, a shot by Mystic Slime. However, if my memory is correct, and I'm quite certain that is correct, this 3D mod is not the same as this 3D mod.
Undertale mod did something crazy and made all of the battles 3D. What in the world? Press spacebar. Oh my, what the heck is happening? Oh, whoa, dude, there's like a whole environment.
Okay, come on, let me just... Okay, there we go.
This Undertale mod did something crazy and made all of the battles 3D. What in the world? Press spacebar. Oh my, what the heck is happening? Oh, whoa, dude, there's like a whole environment too. This is crazy. Oh, they fall from the sky. Oh my, dude, okay. Oh, wait, no, it's not the only attack. Oh my, I wonder, okay, I'm not gonna try and spare, but I wonder if there will be like a green attack in here, or no, maybe not. Oh, there is. All right, let's see. What do you got? Oh, the dog, the dog. Oh, whoa, okay. And look at okay, that's actually kind of crazy. Dude, these attacks are just too crazy. Oh, what the? Oh no, he's sad. No, look at him. What? Oh, what? This Undertale.
So yeah, that is actually completely different from the one I saw. That's a bit mean. Huh. And now I'm interested to see somebody trying to do a let's play of this 3D Undertale thing here. So yeah, Oh wait. So this is the mod. Huh. I wonder, should I react to that too? 8 minutes. I am so tired of these ads.
Undertale 3D Battles mod. A mod for Undertale that turns all battles completely 3D. This is by far one of the coolest mods I've ever played, so you'll want to stick around through the whole video just to see how crazy it gets, because trust me, this mod's insane.
I think I'll just watch it on my own time. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, so just, if you enjoyed it, leave a like, leave a comment. If you want more videos like this, subscribe. Although, again, I won't be doing any random reactions until Mickamass. Oh, Mickamas. 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 Micmac. Black. Yeah. I know. And maybe if you don't know what that is, look it up. And then you'll know when the next random reaction is happening. And I think I'll might be changing some things with the schedule around here. I don't know. Anyway, have a good day and goodbye.